We did it.
I am excited. I'm once again a little late because life. Always scrambling, this is the struggle stream. It's always the struggle stream, honestly. If it wasn't the struggle stream, like it wouldn't have its special charm, Like I was going to do notes. In the end, I forgot to do them, but I don't think they're necessary in this particular case because I know the subject that I'm going to talk about like the back of my hand, basically. I'm going to be putting the itchy bumpy cream so I don't get the itchy bumpies while we're
very important. And there's
chatting about
hello as well. Going wee wee.
Yeah. They're
see.
Yeah, they're annoying. Outside, they're being very annoying. Yeah, there's always a car alarm around here, and they won't turn it off. And then there's drama in the building WhatsApp group, and like then there's Un's neighbor and that other neighbor that wants to kick his ass, which I perfectly understand because I would as well, honestly, allegedly. So yeah, this is a very noisy place. Please forgive me. I do live next to a main avenue, so okay. I see the peeps. I see the peeps showing up.
We rated.
Yay!
Oh, and Thorn is here.
Yay! Hi, friend. I see all the peeps are here, are showing up. We love a raid.
Oh, I see Lori and Toya.
And Toya. All my friends are showing up. I am excited. I am glad that you are here. Also, yeah, like I was saying, I am late, but
and Mo. And Ani, who chose violence in the chat today with emails.
Annie graduated from Divas Causing Problems on Purpose University with the email conversation.
I still love you though, Ani, okay?
And we appreciate that because someone has to tell, because honestly, someone has to tell us.
True. If you don't shame me, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, that's the only time in which like shame, like reinforcement actually works on me. Nowhere else, but like making sure my inbox isn't exploding. That's one thing which the shame actually works. Sure did.
Also, Ani said, I mean, I just mass delete the emails or delete the account. Yeah, see, I need to get on my actual, like, social media Gmail. I need to actually fix, though. Google Docs are open right now. My right to-do list. Right.
Well, I haven't even looked at that. Like, I don't want to think about it. Listen, it's still update. It's still sandwich hours, but I'm a little better. But still, there's a lot of things I don't want to think about at the moment. Well, now that a lot of peeps are here, welcome everyone to today's episode of One More Thing with Fefy. Today, I am taking you on a bit of a journey. So So sit tight,
Ooh.
get comfortable, have a beverage, because yeah, this is going to be a bit of a wild ride. And I want to start by thanking everyone for listening to the weird stuff I talk about sometimes. I know this episode is telenovela related. I know a lot of
Oh,
you
I'm so hyped.
don't like. I know a lot of you don't care about it, but I really appreciate that you are here and listen to me and are respectful, because there's nothing I dislike more than people not liking something and being like, well, I don't like that. No, like, keep it to yourself.
Oh my gosh. Mo said, OMG, Fefy, that look. And also, Thorn said, I'm channeling our friend Audra and listening to you in the shower. Hello, are you me? I swear, Audra and I are the same human because, like, I also listen to live streams in the shower and
I
also
know you
maybe
do.
spend extra
I
time
know you
in the shower because I'm talking to y'all in the shower.
do. Yeah, honestly, if you're not in the shower during a live stream at some point, have you even been to a live stream? Let's be real here.
Right?
Like, have you actually been to a live stream? Like, are you a live stream veteran if you haven't been in the shower during one at least? Like, at least
Right?
during part of one. Also, thank you, friend. I know you do.
Also, I love this. Mo said, wait, I get to catch up on my shows. And this is like, this is me. I'm so happy. I listen to
Aww.
all YouTube videos in the shower. Yeah, same, Toya. I like our showers to be silent, unlike life. See, and I'm like,
No,
I like music and distraction. That's like my. I like that
I
we all have
feel
our methods.
I feel weird if it's silent in the shower, because what if there's like the ghost, or like an assassin or something? Like, I need.
Hello, are you me?
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm like, this is obviously Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock,
honestly, like,
1960.
if I don't play my own music, the music from the movie Psycho is going to start playing, and that doesn't end well for the person in the shower, let me tell you.
Did you know after that movie, she took exclusively baths?
Listen, I would have as well. That she's wise.
Right?
She was very wise. Yeah.
It was something I learned, and I was like, you know what? Valid.
Listen, absolutely valid.
Oh, okay, yeah. I do like
Sing in
the
the shower to
the
rebuild.
repel ghost. I love you.
The shower ritual to rebel. I also sing in the shower sometimes. But the thing is, my nose is so bad that sometimes I drown in the shower because it's stuffy. Have I mentioned that my nose is like permanently stuffy? I need to do something to fix it. I don't know what, but
Oh no, I want to help
we
you.
we already started with derailment, and I'm already really enjoying this. Let me have a bit of water. Speaking of, like, I was telling Ear before we started that I was going to have notes for this episode, and then I was like, you know what? No, nap, nap more important, sleep. So I fell asleep, and the notes didn't happen. Which, sorry to disappoint, but I think we're going to be fine because, like I said, this subject I know like the back of my hand. So I'm going to have to provide a whole bunch of context for this. Otherwise, you're going to be very lost. Yeah, we're going to get it's going to be funny, but at some point it's going to get a bit serious, and then I'm going to give you like a general telenovela update that doesn't have to do with the subject, but it's going to crack you up when you see.
Thor says, sometimes I drown in the shower. Big mood. Oh, and then Mo said, I can give options for stuffy nose. Actually, someone adds sinus rinse to Feffy's list. Yeah, do you have access to like Flonase or anything, or have you used that before? Because that does.
I haven't used it before, but I am open to, because I think my issue might be the same issue that our good friend, Sincerely Alex, had when she had the thingy. I forget the name. I forget that. Like, she had a thing on her nose and she had to have surgery.
Oh, a deviated septum.
I don't think so. I think it was like something that was like in her nose that she needed to. I forgot.
Yeah,
But
septum is what goes down the middle of your nose and like separates your nostrils.
But she says that.
But also, Iris here. Hi.
Oh, hi. How are you, friend? But the thing is, like, Alex says that after that surgery, she now has super nose and can smell everything. My particular issue is I already have super nose even when stuffy. So that's going to be a wild ride for me. Anyway, also, I think today my stuffy nose might be me being tired, like the thing that we were talking about yesterday with Mia. Like, when you're tired, your histamines go through the roof.
Oh, okay. Mo said, polyps, also swollen adenoids. I have been in the nose wars. Yeah, I've been in the nose wars because
nose wars.
I've broken my nose 4 times, so I
have only broken my nose one time. I don't know if, like, I have like a little bumpy over here because someone fell off a chair and elbowed me in the nose when I was a child.
Ow.
Listen, that was my own clownery for being too close to people who were goofing off in class. I'm going to admit that. Anyway, now I'm going to get to the subject, because otherwise I'm not going to get to it ever. So I have talked to you about telenovelas before extensively. I even have a tag about it, and in that tag, because this kind of ties to it, because I spoke about kinds of characters that appear in the telenovela. There's a whole bunch of characters in these telenovelas. Obviously, we have the protagonist, the good girl, the heartthrob, the sexy villain, who is like usually iconic. There's other characters that I didn't mention in the show. I am going to name one of these characters in honor of our lovely friend Mo here in chat. I'm going to name one of these characters Partially Useful Guy, because that's like kind of like his role in he's usually like the protagonist, other love interest that is not going to end up with her, because she's obviously going to end up with the heartthrob. But at some point when she's going through it, he's useful. Anyway, we're not going to talk that much about him today, but I wanted to mention that partially useful guy is a telenovela stereotype as well.
I love this.
There's another character that I didn't mention that is like very prevalent and very iconic. And that character, hear me out, is the Virgin. And no, when I say the Virgin, I am not talking about a lady who has not yet engaged in adult activities, which are not taxes. I am talking about the actual virgin, like the Catholic symbol, you know?
Like the Virgin Mary kind of thing.
Like the Virgin Mary. In this particular case, it's the Virgin of Guadalupe, which is like this is a specifically Mexican telenovela
Oh, okay.
situation, obviously. In this case, it's the Virgin of Guadalupe, which is like a huge prominent figure in like the Catholic faith in Mexico. And you might be like, what are you talking about? Like, how is a something that like is like a figurine because it's usually like the figure of the virgin that you put in an altar or something, a character in a telenovela. How is that possible? But here's the thing: in every telenovela, there's this iconic moment in which our protagonist, our good girl, is going through it. Like everything is going wrong for her. Like the sexy villain's plan is working perfectly, and she's with the heartthrob now, and she's like out in the streets, and she doesn't have anything, or like she's had an accident, or she's lost someone she loves, or like her baby got stolen. A million gajillion things can
Not the
happen.
baby.
Listen, the stolen baby situation. The stolen baby is also a very important character in the telenovela.
Oh my god.
But like that happens a lot. So yeah. And then at some point in the show, there's this iconic moment of our good girl like walking down the street and finding like a place where there's an altar to the Virgin of Guadalupe, or she has one in her house, like in her own neighborhood where she used to live because she's poor again or something. And she like desperately prays to the Virgin to like give her a sign or the help her, and she does like this huge over dramatic speech about how she has no hope anymore, and she's like basically waiting for a miracle. And this scene is made to signal to us that look, she's a good Catholic girl, she deserves good things to happen to her because she's a good Catholic girl. Basically, like if you want things to happen, it like if you want to be good, be religious. Basically,
Ah, yes.
yeah. So like there's and like and there's also like a stark contrast between her and the sexy villain. The sexy villain is not a good Catholic girl. The sexy villain only cares about money and about being hot and like lounging around in her fancy couch, wearing fancy clothes and a whole face of makeup. Uh, so like she's not good and she doesn't deserve good things. So yeah, that is like, and it took me a while to realize that, but like they can't be doing this like by choice, like by chance. This can't be a coincidence. This keeps happening and keeps happening because the writers, the network, whoever, are trying to send a message to the audience about like who's good and who's bad. And also in a country that is very conservative and very Catholic, so it makes a whole bunch of sense. Let me see comments.
I do all the same things as the sexy villain, is what Lori said. And Christine said, you are the sexy villain.
Listen, we have all been the sexy villain at some point. And also, like, let me tell you, I am a good Catholic girl, and I am not, and like, I haven't married rich yet. Like, this is unfair. I need
Yet.
wealth to redistribute. Like, I have friends who have like medical bills and stuff. Like, where's my millionaire that is going to randomly disappear at some point through no fault of my own, obviously, because I don't do that. Agent who might be watching this podcast. Um, so yeah, that is something that I have noticed, and that like it took me a while to notice, but every telenovela protagonist does it. It was more prevalent it was more prevalent in terms of being like more dramatic in the 90s, obviously. And actually, there's a Chilean telenovela in which there's a character, like a family of characters who are like obsessed with Mexican telenovelas. So they talk with a Mexican accent, and everyone like, I mean, most people like tolerates them and stuff, but like the rich people like make fun of them or whatever. And at some point, the daughter, she is forbidden from dating this guy who is her longtime boyfriend, who is a rich guy, and she basically like recreates this iconic scene, and like goes to church and refuses, and is like praying on her knees and refuses to move from there until the father of her boyfriend allows her to date him again. And it's all very dramatic, and like they play the dramatic, like it's a very strong nod to that scene. And then that's where I was like, oh.
Like, oh, I got it. That's where it. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, yes, this is a part that is very important in every telenovela, because like, and there used to be in some of them characters that would like every other episode they would make like the protagonist would make a mention, a nod to the Virgin of Guadalupe, and I was like, now rewatching some of that, I'm like, interesting. So yeah, this is obviously a nod for the audience, so they know that if you're like a good religious person, especially a good Catholic person, good things are going to happen to you in the end. Which, I don't know.
Toya said, I feel like I'm both, and Mo is going to go lurk now. If you fall asleep, have a good sleep.
Yeah, it's okay, Mo. You deserve the rest. You doing your hair is very exhausting. Anyway, so why am I going on and on about the Virgin being a character in telenovelas? Because a few episodes ago, I don't know if it was when I was doing the podcast or in another live stream in which I mentioned telenovelas, but if I'm not mistaken, it was Cici who mentioned this show that's called La Rosa de Guadalupe. And that's the show that I have been talking about, that is the bane of my existence. Mommy watches it. It's not a telenovela with a linear storyline. It's independent episodes, every episode, like independent stories So it's more like a series than it is a telenovela, but the
Oh, okay.
format, like the way the episodes are written, it's very similar. And this telenovela, this show, basically, the Virgin is the protagonist. The story goes like this. A character in every episode is struggling with some particular issue. And at some point, this character hits rock bottom. And then at some point, this character or someone in their family usually has an altar to the Virgin of Guadalupe. And when the rock bottom happens, a white rose appears at the altar, which is like, oh, the Virgin of Guadalupe has listened to your desperation, to your prayers, and like a miracle happens that makes someone change, someone open their eyes to a situation, someone find someone that helps them with their issue, or like they find themselves. So yeah, it's everything revolves around the Virgin performing a miracle, basically.
That's hilarious.
And it's so freaking over dramatic. I can't even. Also, there's usually like 3 types of storylines, I would like to say. Type of storyline number 1 is internet bad. That's what I would call that type of storyline. Internet bad. It's usually about a group of young teenagers who do something goofy, and it's posted on the internet, and they talk about the dangers of the internet and like how don't talk to strangers in chats, don't don't post certain things on the internet because the internet is forever. Internet bullying. It's very repetitive. It happens, and honestly, every time I go to mommy's room, she's watching one of those episodes, and it's exact. And I don't even have to watch the whole thing to know
Oh
that it's
no.
exactly the same episode every single time.
Thorn said internet bug, quote me.
Oh no, I mean internet bad. But yeah. um yeah, so like that's the first type of episode, which is like, don't do basically anything in the internet because children are in danger from the internet, stranger danger. Like, don't post stuff when you go to a pub. Yeah, honestly, I'm like, I see their point, but those episodes read very dated to me, because usually the ones who fall for the internet nonsense are older people now, not children. I mean, there's still children that fall for that stuff. But yeah, so like, there's an issue that was on the internet.
Right. Times have changed, like you said.
One of the kids got bullied because someone posted something about them on the internet, and like the resolution is very unsatisfying. Like, there's one in which this girl gets bullied because they posted a video of her like dancing seductively at a party, and I'm like, First of all, none of the people who posted that faced any kind of criminal charges. Second of all, no one faced any consequences. And the resolution, the miracle, is that her parents forgive her for being reckless and she changes schools. I'm like,
That's terrible.
shouldn't the bullies pay? And in the end, there's a whole speech about like, don't get drunk and dance on a table or something, like, oh, children need to be more careful because bullying, instead of like, don't fucking bully people. But maybe that's just me, maybe I'm different. Anyway, so that's the first type of storyline. The second type of storyline is also something that ends very unsatisfyingly for me.
And Thorne also said, internet screw up is also me. And Lori said, bullies should always pay, blaming the victim. What? Christine? And Thorne said, wow, no.
It is a whole no. The second one is going to be a no for even more people. The second one is, oh, my relative is treating me like crap. I guess I need to forgive them though. Which is a story.
Screeching.
Yeah, which is a story about a person who basically gets abused the entire episode, but then the Virgin of Guadalupe touches their abuser's heart and they tearfully beg for forgiveness, and this person forgives them, and I'm like, that's not a miracle. The miracle would be if the Virgin of Guadalupe went and grabbed this person and threw them directly into an active volcano. That's a miracle.
That.
This thing is a ripoff. It's like, there's this episode that makes me so angry. It's about this girl. She has a sister. Yeah, it's like this girl and her sister. Their mother left, and their father married this woman who used to be like the nanny or something. And obviously she's the stepmother, so she's evil. And she makes up a bunch of crap about the oldest daughter. By the way, she also sleeps with the oldest daughter's boyfriend, which is like, ma'am, that's a minor, but that's none of my business. Anyway, that's not even the more terrible part. This woman incriminates the daughter, like she plants drugs in the daughter's room, and the father finds nothing better than to throw the daughter into a detention center that is illegally run, where the children get abused, by the way.
What?
Because the stepmother made up a lie about her. I wish I were shitting you. I shit you not. This is a thing that happened in that show. Anyway, the daughter is desperate and crying, and the Virgin of Guadalupe makes her magic, whatever. The mother who abandoned her reappears. She now lives in Miami and is rich and married a rich man. And she wants to reestablish her relationship with her daughters, and she wants to but she finds out that this evil woman married her ex-husband, and she's been abusing her children, and So in the end, she's kind of like, even though she was shitty because she abandoned her children, she's the one who saves them basically, and makes the father open his eyes to the evil ways of the evil stepmother. So the daughter gets rescued, and this woman, the mother, who just reappeared, is like, well, if you feel bad about what happened, you can go live in Miami with me. I live in a mansion, I have like all this money, blah 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 blah. And the daughter is like, well, but my dad said said he was sorry, and he's been with and he's been there for me the whole time. And I'm like, honey, I know your mother is trash, but your father threw you away into God knows where to be mistreated because he thought that you were a drug addict. Instead of giving you like
Treatment.
instead of giving you potential treatment, and like she forgives this man.
What the hell?
And they're like a happy, and they're now a happy family, and the mother visits with her new husband, and everyone gets along. And I'm like,
what?
I would have been like, about my mother, I would have been like, you know what? I hate this binge too, but this binge is not good. But if this binge finds out that I'm on drugs, which I wasn't, by the way, I would be like chilling in a mansion in Miami, having a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe I could take my sister as well. Like I would be
gone.
I would be like, so long, sucker, at my father, because in the end he did like something terrible, because
horrific.
Because he listened to his carrot, basically, because this other woman, that's another thing. Like these shows are very misogynistic, so it's usually this evil temptress stepmother who had this man like bewitched by the power of her taco, whatever. Like anyway, so that's the other type
Toya,
of.
Toya said, I'm over here listening and had to stop typing to say what.
Honestly, like, do y'all hear, like, do you think this shit is normal? Like, what are these writers smoking? Because it's not the good one, let me tell you. I don't want them to share.
Seriously.
So like, it's always, oh yeah, this person treated me like absolute fucking garbage, but I have to forgive them because that I'm a good Catholic person, I guess. Once again, we go back to the third type of storyline that is like super prevalent, is like, don't be ambitious because you will suffer. And it's very basically the main character, usually a woman. Needless to say, these shows are very, 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 very cis and very straight. Like there's this random, sometime like gay storyline. The gay person is usually a cis man who is usually pretty white, and the storyline is written as if it was still the 80s. I don't want to say anymore that, but if you know, you know.
Oh, we know, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, but the other storyline is usually don't be ambitious, which is like this female character who's usually young and pretty. She basically becomes the sexy villain because she used to be poor, and like she's tired of being poor, which valid. Aren't we all, honestly? Uh,
Relate.
so like she seduces someone to get money, or she does something sketchy. She joins a scam. She like gets involved with people who have been doing crimes and have a lot of money, blah 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 blah. Um, and basically the lesson is that the Virgin has to touch this woman's heart to remind her that money is in everything, and money can buy you happiness. And I'm like, okay, but money can buy you food, can buy you clothes, can buy you medication. Don't tell me. That makes me pretty happy, honestly. Like, don't we all? Don't we
Right?
all?
Right though, Thorn, she joins an MLM. Oh my god. Have a good
Honestly,
Dr.
she might as well. At some point, she might as well.
Have good
I
Dr.
don't think they have directly done the main character becomes a Han storyline, but they might as well at some point. Um, so yeah, there's like those are the three most prevalent storyline, and like that shit is infuriating because I'm always like, wait, that's the ending? That's the good thing that happens to them? That's not a good thing. What are you talking about? Like, still having to deal with shitty people in your life is not a good ending. Having to change your entire life because you were bullied is not a good ending. Like, what are you saying? So yeah, that's infuriating, but at least with all the melodrama and the terrible acting, at least it's kind of fun. But sometimes they will do an episode that genuinely infuriates me because I know that because this show is very easily accessible to people. I don't know if they're still making it, but they're probably reruns of it somewhere. But like they were doing this show in the biggest television network in Mexico, which is like I don't know if it's like publicly run like the one that we have here, but if even if you don't have cable, you have this channel basically. So it's very accessible for everyone. And sometimes they will make an episode that is like wild, full of misinformation and fear mongering for people.
Oh no.
And we hate that.
It's a virtual appointment and I'm mad because I want a toy from the treasure chest. Don't we all?
Okay. So this episode, I mean, I didn't watch it, but like my room and mommy's room when we were on vacation in Los Andes were very close together, and mommy doesn't know how to watch TV at a regular volume at this point in life.
Oh
So
no.
I listen to everything she watches, and then she gets mad at me because I wear headphones all the time. But I digress. Anyway, she was watching this episode of this show, and it was about a young girl in high school who got pregnant. And her boyfriend was trash, and he dumped her, and he was like, oh, are you sure that the typical asshole dude that is like, oh, are you sure that the baby is mine, blah 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 blah, you know, the typical nonsense that those guys do in real life, but also in these shows to make the situation more dramatic. Like the guy always like questions his paternity and bounces. That's not the more important, that's not the more problematic part of the storyline though. This girl is thinking about not keeping the baby. And she tells that to her parents. As far as I know, abortion is illegal in Mexico. It has to be because they're so conservative. I don't know. If someone knows, check me. But if it's legal now, this show was probably made during a time where it didn't used to be.
Okay, yeah, I honestly do not know.
Yeah, I forgot to look that up. That is entirely my fault. I apologize for it.
Oh no,
But anyway, like the vibes that gives me is that abortion was probably illegal at the time, or still is. I don't know. Anyway, so she tells her parents, and her mother gets very concerned. So she calls another woman.
And just little update real quick. It says it's a controversial issue and its legal status varies by state, so kind of like the United States.
Oh yeah, similar to the States. Okay, because here it's like illegal light. It's kind of illegal. It's only legal in some cases, is what I mean. But so yeah, this girl goes and is like, I don't know if I want to keep the baby, blah 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 blah. So her mother, I think, calls this other woman to have a talk with her daughter. And this woman very dramatically tells her her story about her abortion story. And she's basically like, well, I had an abortion, and after that I become infertile and I couldn't have babies anymore. Like, do you want that to yourself? You need to know that if you have an abortion, you're not going to be able to become a mother. And I was like,
screaming,
that's not true. I mean, maybe
it was done horribly wrong, maybe.
I mean, they maybe have a point if it's illegal in that place and it's a horribly botched abortion, but otherwise, that's a lie. And they are dead serious about this story. So the rest of the episode is basically about this girl meets another guy who falls in love with her and wants to take care of the baby. And she never thinks about whether she wants to keep the baby again or not. Like, it's assumed that she wants to have it because down the line, if she wants to be a mother again, if she has an abortion, it's not going to happen. And I'm like, even if someone, I don't remember I didn't even watch the whole episode, but that scene that is pretty important becomes a non-issue afterwards. She's like, I'm going to keep the baby, and now I'm dating with this other guy who's going to be the father. Also, she didn't want to keep the baby in the first place because she wanted the baby to have two parents, which is conservative country. I mean, this is a religious show, so I'm not surprised.
Honestly, at the same time, like the difficulties that single parents face, I can understand wanting.
Yeah, I understand that.
But like you said,
and also any reason to have an abortion that a person has is a good reason. So, because if they have a reason to not have a baby, it's because there's something that's really making it difficult for them. So who am I to judge? But it was very, oh yeah, this is a very Catholic show that it's
Right.
very like traditional family
Right.
values.
It's the problem when they present it as the only option.
Yeah, they presented it as the only option, and they were like, no, don't have an abortion. You're going to, something is going to happen to you that usually doesn't happen when an abortion is done well. So, you know,
Ruthie is here.
hey Rufy, and they present that as fact. This person is never fact checked by anyone. And
That's
like, she's
horrifying.
there for that one scene in which she scares the crap out of this poor child and then disappears. And that was obviously the mother of the girl's intention. Like, and I'm like I said, this is a show that is or was at the time very accessible to people. And telenovelas are usually targeted to a specific demographic. I'm not saying rich people with good educations don't watch them, but they usually look at them very dismissively. So it's usually people with lower incomes and lower resources who are fans of these shows. And if you go to a school, if you're a young person and you go to a school that is not even that good and you don't have good sex ed classes, and then you watch this show and you're like, oh crap, if I get pregnant at 16, I can't have an abortion because if I want to have a baby when I am 25, I'm not going to be able to because I had an abortion. That is dangerous. Like,
Yeah.
I know people are always like, oh, but why are you being so serious about this? It's just a TV show. But think about all the things you believed as a child, or even like way into
Right?
adulthood, because you
Yeah.
read it in a book or because you saw it on a TV show.
Exactly. And like something like that is like you said, it's medical misinformation and it's genuinely dangerous.
Yeah, and it's very like this has been a PSA by the pro-birth movement. Basically, that's the vibes that gave me, and I listened to that, and I audibly was like, "Oh my god, did she really say that?" I said that to mommy. I was like, "Did she really say that? Because that's a lie." And mommy was like, "Yep, that's a lie." That is gross misinformation. Mommy, by the way, considers herself pro-life. However, if you're down if you're down on your luck and you have an unwanted pregnancy, she knows a doctor. She has your back. she's not
I
she's
love
not judgy. I know that because someone close to me was in that situation at some point and mommy helped her.
Oh, bless her. Bless
And
her.
with
Because
that with that with that, we
so
made
scared.
sure that this person was no longer in an abusive relationship, so good.
I love
But
that's amazing.
so yeah, so she's not judgy, but like she's like, that is not true, like why are you telling that? And I was like, why are they telling this to young people? Why are they telling young people that the only viable option to stay healthy or whatever is to keep an unwanted pregnancy? Why?
to be responsible for a whole nother human for the rest of your life. No big deal.
For the rest of their life, like, it's not an and this is something that we were talking about the other day. It's not an 18-year commitment, it's a lifetime commitment. You know, you don't stop being the child's parent just because they became an adult.
Yeah, at an arbitrary age when their brain isn't even done cooking.
Yeah, so I was outraged. I wasn't surprised though, but I was outraged. And then I kept thinking about all the messed stuff, all the messed up stuff that we as a society in Latin America have allowed telenovelas to get away with for the sake of entertainment, basically. By the way, the whole if you have an abortion, you're going to have horrible consequences is also a prevalent storyline across a lot of telenovela style productions in Latin America.
I mean, even in the US.
Yeah, even especially in Mexico. Like, I remember there's this other show that also has individual episodes, that has an episode about this woman who basically can never catch a break, and in the end she has an abortion and dies, and it's like,
oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and they do it as a PSA about, like, how the mistreatment of women in certain parts of the country, blah, blah, and I'm like, well, I think in all the country, like, in your whole country, the only people who are not getting mistreated and disrespected are, like, white cis straight men. I forgot another type of storyline in that same show in La Rosa de Guadalupe, which is, what do you know, propaganda. Never mind that if you turn on the TV, on the news in any country in Latin America, you're going to watch, like, at least an hour of gruesome crime that wasn't stopped by the police at all. But this show had the audacity of making episodes that is like, well, if you see a crime, call the police because they're going to stop crime. And I'm like, in which universe?
Are they though?
In which universe? And also, they make these episodes about stuff in Mexico that the police has completely ignored. Women being kidnapped, stuff related to drug cartels. Like, the police washes their hands of the whole situation. They don't even investigate, let alone solve crimes. Like, so the whole thing, like, to stop this the surge in crime, everyone has to call the police. And I'm like, for why? These people don't get help.
Right. And it's like, why would you put
police? So I'm like, in which universe do you even live? Because it's a very rich people universe, and over there sometimes not even rich people get their crimes solved, honestly.
Yeah, the corruption is real, like, worldwide with cops.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, and of course, it was built on a flawed system in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But and it's just like it's just so sick to me that
Yeah.
like you said, the propaganda is constantly selling us like, oh yeah, go to a policeman, he'll help you. Like,
Yeah,
no.
I mean, I think that's a story for another episode, but that starts since you're a child. There's like children's shows episodes that are like, oh, if something happens to you, go to a policeman. And I'm like, not every child has that luxury. But that is a very heavy topic. So yeah, and the propaganda is very strong, very very strong in some of those episodes, and I'm like, you can tell that this show is fictional because crimes don't get solved either by the police or in that short amount of time. I mean, there is a couple of episodes that are like, this person got kidnapped and they found them 20 years later because of random chance. Like, that sadly makes more sense to me than
Right.
the police solving the crime in 5 seconds. But
Also, Lily says to say hello.
oh, hi, Lily. Is Lily still sniffly? Because she was very sniffly the other day.
Oh yes, how is the sneezy baby?
The sneezy baby, yeah, we love her.
I love her so much.
Even though she likes to sneeze everywhere.
In your face. No big.
Yeah, she likes to sneeze in your face, in your makeup, in your tea. Anyway, so oh, oh, poor baby.
Lily. Oh, you're feeding
Animals.
the animals, but I'm goodish.
Yeah. So anyway, after watching this thing and honestly not being a very big fan.
Oh my god. Thorne said, I took her picture. She came up to me and sneezed on my phone. She's purring.
Tell Lily I said hi and that I love her. We love her. She's so cute. So after this adorable kitty interlude, so after watching this nonsense that is truly wild and honestly kind of iconic in its terribleness, and I'm not talking just about how technically terrible it is. I'm talking about how the themes of it are also terrible and the lessons that it teaches. I mean, sometimes they do like a good thing, but it's mostly terrible, and you're like, this is so unsatisfying. Because to me, and this is going more about the structure of a telenovela than the themes, so I'm going to derail myself for a second. The telenovela also has a similar contract with the audience than the one that romance novels have with the audience, or romance content in general, which is, you're watching this thing expecting a happy ending because it's bad thing after bad thing after bad thing. So you need payoff for it. But the payoff that this show gives is, okay, so this terrible person who treated me like garbage still in my life? Okay. This life that I made for myself as a young person and my friends and my education, whatever, I'm going to have to change everything because people treat me wrong and they don't suffer consequences. Okay. It's like, that's not payoff.
Right? Like it's wholly unsatisfying.
That is the misunderstood the misunderstood by big religion of the turn your other cheek thing, which turning the other cheek is not about just taking garbage from people. It's about, you know what? This is a power move on my part. You're the one who looks terrible now because I made a big gesture. So I win, basically. It's not, oh, well, I am going to tolerate all the garbage that comes to me because that means that means I'm good. And there's been a couple of episodes on that show about characters who were bullied in high school who get revenge. And I'm like, okay, but I want a whole telenovela about this character in which they get revenge on all the terrible people in their life. But no, they make it about how revenge is bad, even though they treated you like you were less than a person when you were in high school. And I'm like, really? Like, you need to forgive the people who beat you up and humiliated you and change your life for the worse. And I'm like,
Yeah,
how about I? And I'm like,
people do that.
and I'm like, how about I don't do that though? I know you're offering me this alternative, but I'm sure there's others. So there's this one episode that is kind of wild in which this girl comes back with a whole other name, a whole other personality, with money, and she seduces the main bully, and she's about to marry him, and they're like at the altar, and she's like, you know what? This is me. Remember me from high school? You treated me like shit. I am here to tell everyone that you suck. And it's like,
and leave you at the altar, Mike.
And I was like, because you don't deserve me, and blah blah blah. And I was like,
yes,
listen. That's a power move. I would do.
That is a power move I can respect and see myself doing if I got.
And then everyone is like, oh my god, this is so terrible what she did. And then they're like, but we understand because we were so bad to her, and now we have understood the harm that we caused, and because we understood, we are automatically good people, so we're going to beg for forgiveness, and this binge forgives them. And I'm like, no, just because they said I'm sorry, it doesn't even mean that they mean it. They're doing it because they feel guilty. They're not doing it genuinely. I can bet you money that if they could treat you like crap again, they would. But now that you're hot and that you have money, they can't do that. And that's why they're begging for forgiveness. So I was so mad. I wanted the wedding in which she humiliates this guy to be the ending, because that would have been a satisfying ending.
Yes. Like you
And
said,
the
that is like
lesson
ultimate power move.
and the lesson would have been, don't fucking bully people, because maybe one day
We will wreck
they're
your
going to get back at you because you're a trash person.
Yes, we will wreck your fucking life.
I mean,
Okay?
I mean, that is like a religious thing. Like, treat people how you want to be treated. That's a lesson. That's a very important lesson. Like, don't be mean to people if you don't want people to be mean to you. I'm not being unreasonable here.
You're definitely not.
Like, that would have been a good lesson, and also it would have made for great entertainment. It would have been like the only episode of that show that was well written, honestly, because throughout the whole, and this is an episode that I watched the whole thing because I was bored and my phone wasn't working. So I was like, whatever, I'll sit
Valid.
with mommy in her room and watch this nonsense. And honestly, the real identity of this person is revealed right at the wet. Like, you think the entire episode is normal, and you're like,
Oh,
wow.
that's even better.
And you're like, wow, this episode is surprisingly drama free. What is going to happen? And you're waiting for the other shoe to drop the entire episode, and then you get the plot twist reveal. And I was like, so pissed off, because then they added a couple of scenes of like everyone repenting their sins, basically.
Ah. Everyone hydrate.
Mm-hmm. Hydrate, everyone. Listen, ranting about this nonsense
I just took my drink of water.
makes me ranting about this nonsense makes me very high in sodium, and you know, when you're salty you need to drink water.
Yes. We are water-based beings.
Yeah. If you are high in sodium about
Well, water.
either real life or a fictional happening, please hydrate.
Cat is here. Hello. Don't
Hey,
be shy.
cat.
We're glad you're
It's
here.
okay. You're not late.
We're
It's
talking
okay.
about
We appreciate you joining us. Also, a queen is never late. Everyone else is simply early.
correct.
Is that the only created by Shonda Rhimes piece of media
Wait, did
line
she
that I ever quote?
wait, did she do Princess Diary movie?
Is that in the first Princess Diaries or the second?
I can't
He
remember.
did the second.
Okay, yeah, I think it's in the
He was
second.
executive producer in the second.
Okay, I think that might have been in the second movie. So you're right.
Yeah, because it was like before the wedding. Like,
Yes, and it's like before they make the grand entrance into the giant ballroom with the 2 staircases. I love
yeah.
Princess Diaries. Don't at me. I've read every single one of those books.
Listen, I'm into it. I have a friend who is a huge fan of the books. Therefore, she hates the movies.
Yes, I love Meg Cabot so much. She's one of my favorite YA novelists. Her Mediator series is one of my favorites.
Ooh, I haven't read much from her because
Oh, it's based
what would you know?
in
Because
old
what
Catholic
would you know?
school,
It's not
and
very
she's
accessible in my country.
oh, It's so cool. The Mediator series, so basically she can speak to ghosts and tries to like solve
Ooh.
their problems and, you know, get them crossed over. And she moves to Carmel by the Sea in California, and there is an old Spanish Catholic mission there. And she goes
Oh,
to there and gets to encounter all
you're
of the ghosts.
speaking my language.
It's really cool.
So basically, the archive.
Yes. So
Is there
Toya,
a is there a creepy nun who has a tendency towards Mexican ballads? Basically,
you
probably.
know, I wouldn't be surprised. And
Is
Toya said, "There were books. Where have I been?" And yes, the books existed before the movies.
yeah.
They were based off the movies were based off of them, but like very very loosely. The first movie more followed the books, and then like the second one was just kind of like creative license as like a follow up to the movie. So that one doesn't follow the books, but the first one more closely follows the books. But
Lipstick
it's not set
reactivation
like
syndrome.
but it's not set in San Francisco. The books are set in New York City, if I'm remembering correctly.
Hmm.
Because I think Meg Cabot she was like a long time like dorm advisor for at NYU.
Oh, cool.
Yes, I these random facts that are just stuck in my head. Kat said, "I have opinions about the actress, so I do not discuss the movies." As in, like Anne Hathaway, or
Yeah, a lot of people don't like her. I am weird about.
seems so
I am
nice.
I am weird about not liking actresses in general. I am weird about it.
Oh, and Kat said, "I just put glasses on. Oh my, this eye look." Right though.
Yeah, so makeup interlude. Oh wow. I don't have the thing. I don't have the thing. But wow, I've been talking too much. And also I'm tired. This is also tiredness. So the blue is cream shadow
It
from
looks
one of the from the L'Oreal infallible paints. I don't know if they still make those, but so all the blue around it and the sparkly greeny shade is from the ice cream palette.
oh, it's gorgeous.
And
Kat said
I'm
favorite
wearing
colors.
and I'm wearing Chimera, but once again,
Oh, you're
she's a
glowing. You're
she's a
glowing.
she's a she's a tough binge to show up on camera. So
Yeah, it's like you can get the shine, but it's very hard to pick up the green you can see in
yeah.
person.
And for lipstick, I'm wearing this is Max C Sheer,
It looks so good. I love that color on you.
and I am wearing this because the Mac Instagram has been attacking me lately, and they have been promoting this lipstick a whole bunch as like their favorite lipsticks for Valentine's Day. They have like a little
Oh,
like a curated collection of lipstick that they say that are their favorites for Valentine's Day. And as always, this doesn't show up in the pictures how it does in real life.
of course.
Like the Mac lipstick pictures are a lie. I mean, we have extensively talked about product photography being a scam and how like they never look like that in real life. But the Mac website, if you look at the lipsticks, the swatch they have of the lipstick and the picture looks nothing like in real life. I have done the experiment of comparing my lipsticks that I own that are many. We talked about this with Theor the other day, and they don't look like that at all. They don't look like in the website at all. And the pictures that they take for Instagram also don't look like that at all.
Right?
Like this is like a this is kind of like like a very sheer red, I would say. It's like a pinky red.
Yeah, it has like the just that little hint of pink to it.
Which is a type of color that a type of lip color that I really like with blue looks.
Yes.
I
Kat
think
said, "Give me teal, turquoise, and mint, and the nails to match. And this is why we need swatches." Also that.
yeah, this is why we need like actual real life swatches in different skin tones. Like I have been talking about how I could never make an episode about my lipsticks because you would be here for 10 hours. Same with a beauty crawl episode as well. Like when I didn't have ideas for beauty crawl, my peeps would be like, make one about your red lipstick. And I'm like, that's an hour long, at least. Because I have opinions about all of them. Because I have used all of them. You don't want to get me started on lipstick formulas. We're going to be here all day. Anyway, so what was I even talking about? Because we got into the rail train. Oh, revenge plots and how they're always like revenge is bad, which I get it. Like if you're end up like doing a crime, I understand that. Don't do crime. But I mean, you can do you can have little a crime as a treat, honestly.
A
if
little
people really,
crime is a topping.
if people treated you really bad, you can have little a crime as a treat, but they're like, oh, you have been consumed by revenge. Why don't you forgive? And it's like they haven't earned that, but go off, I guess. Um, so Mexican telenovelas and telenovela adjacent shows get away with a whole bunch of nonsense. I the other day I went into the telenovela rabbit hole, and I started looking up some that I used to watch when I was a child on Wikipedia. Needless to say, some of these shows I shouldn't have been watching as a child.
I love that.
There's this one that is basically, if it hadn't been made in the early 90s, in like 1993, it would be basically Outlander minus the Scottish thing.
That's hilarious.
It would like it was very like old school 80s 90s romance novel period drama bodies reaper. What was little old 8-year-old me watching this show? Who allowed this?
Literally me watching Titanic
Like
as a whole child.
my abuelita was in the room with me. Why didn't she tell me to go play? Why didn't she tell me to go watch cartoons or something? I mean, we did have one TV at some point, but still, why didn't she tell me to go play with my dolls or something? Wow. And also I kept reading the storyline of it, and it's so convoluted that my brain didn't register any of it. I can't even recount it for you. All I know is it was two sisters. They both were into the same guy, and the guy was like pirate, renegade, running from justice, from because he was accused of a crime that he didn't commit. You know, the typical, basically Jamie from Outlander, but not white.
Ah, yes. Oh, and then Kat said, I'm a big advocate for revenge. I'm not a good influence, but also same. And then no banana smoothie accident today, which is good.
Banana smoothie accident. Yeah, that is not. Banana smoothie accidents are not
Patrick
fun.
said, there is time left today still, though.
Yeah. The day is young, honestly. So yeah, I remember this show, but the thing is, I remember the villain sister more than the protagonist sister who was good. And that, like, that's it. Like, the villains are so iconic, and obviously it's two sisters. They don't get along. The villain is hot, and everyone wants her. Her milkshakes bring all the boys to her yard. And the good sister is also hot, but she wanted to be a nun at some point. So she's a good Catholic girl. Goose! Hi, Goose!
It's a goose! Sticky cat!
I love Goose. Goose speaks to my soul.
Gooses are problematic fave.
Yeah, he understands us. Like, sometimes you just want to, like,
You know,
sit
sometimes,
there and
always,
scream for chicken. Like, that is a whole mood.
no thoughts, only chicken.
No thoughts, only chicken. Yeah. Which is a very relatable mood, honestly.
I can highly relate to this. Both
Screaming
eating
gingers
chicken
unite.
and being one to be friends with chickens.
President of the Screaming Ginger Coalition, Goose.
Oh, Kat asked, Fefy, why is it always a good and bad sister brother, especially twins?
Yeah, it's so annoying. Also, in this show, the main guy has a brother who is supposed to be good, but he messes up so bad at so many points of the show that he might as well end up being a villain in the end. Like, but he gets away with everything and faces no consequences in the end. He moves to Europe and asks his brother for forgiveness and just leaves. And I'm like, that's it? Your brother almost died like a gajillion times. He was in jail for a crime he didn't commit. His friend, like, your people killed a whole bunch of his friends. Like, for why?
Why?
Honestly. But no, like, there were other villains that were worse. And obviously, in this case, the sexy villain has an accident and dies. Because in the end, the whole story ends up being about the men having a power struggle because we need that, apparently. According to whomst?
For For and according to whomst.
For whomst and according to whomst. Like, seriously, that storyline, it's the too light neutral palette of the telenovela world. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it anymore. We have seen too many of them, and it needs more depth.
Oh my god, this analogy, I love it. You're brilliant.
Thank you. I am glad that I am trying to make everything very, because I know that you all have watched content that is similar to telenovelas, but you haven't experienced the real deal. You haven't had the actual telenovela experience, which is a ride. I need to get on that. I need to get on that.
I would be very here for this.
Because sometimes you just want to walk around and point at things and be like, for why?
And it's the Spanish why.
Yeah.
My favorite. It's my favorite. Though, and I can't do it because I am not in Spanish, obviously. But it's my favorite.
You do a pretty good attempt, though. You're close, and that is good.
For an English speaker, thank you.
I appreciate your efforts.
I attempt. I try.
Yeah, here we don't Spanish plain people, because only Karen's Spanish plain. If you know, you know. I am really thirsty today. I am thirstier than the sexy villain. Oh, I love that. I really love that. Yeah, you get it. You know. So yeah, this show, I was like, I'm glad I was 8 and I didn't understand anything, because I would have been, even though I had already been a writer for over a year at that point, I wasn't a good one because I was just starting, and also I hadn't fell down the rabbit hole of media analysis content, because the interwebs weren't a thing. But yeah, if I have what, and I think that show did have a remake that I didn't watch, because I was like, a part of me remembers being very uncomfortable watching this show.
Ha! Sorry, I'm back. I had to clip that.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Thorn. Make Texans go why? Why? It's why.
Yeah.
Why for whom?
And for
that's more Kentucky, but
yeah,
I do a better Kentucky because I am from Southern Ohio and my family.
I mean,
so
let's remember there's a lot of Southern accents.
So many rural and Southern accents.
Accents are great. We love accents in this household.
Yes, we do.
So, and that's another thing about telenovelas. Sometimes you will watch a show and you will find out that the show that is like, it was made in 2019, but it was a remake of a show that was made in 1997. that was a remake of that was a remake of a show that was made in the 70s, and you're like, Americans are always complaining about movie remakes, like, oh, they're not, the movie people are not creative anymore, they keep making remakes of stuff, where are the original stories? Imagine how tired Mexicans are.
Right, though. And Kat said, excuse the question if you've already been asked this, but have you done any proofreading or editing work? Fefy, I think you would be great at it, and agreed, honestly. Like, you'd be a great
I
writer.
have done yeah, I have done unofficially proofreading for my friends when they were writing their final project for school, for university, when they were pursuing their degree in history. I read a lot of theses and reports and stuff. And not to brag, but all my friends got really good grades on those.
Because you're brilliant.
The ones who didn't get that great a grade were the ones who didn't follow my suggestions. What do you know? It's almost as if I'm always right.
Because it's always a day that ends in a Y.
Oh, I have a hair in my ear. Why?
That is so rude.
Ah! And
Oh
it
no.
itches.
I'm so sorry.
You know what? When something is like
I hate that.
tickling you in the ear,
Yes, I hate that.
that's the worst feeling.
Right though, Kat, we do need to get Feffy monies for this. Thor said, "Blah."
Yeah, I know. So anyway, yeah, I do that, and I'm currently
That was like a
doing that
Devo
for,
level. Blah.
yeah. Yeah, I am doing that for my best friend right now. She hasn't sent me new chapters of her final uh, project, but I have been, let's just say, I have been reading a lot of nonsensical legalese that quotes a lot of terrible people. It's exhausting, but my friend is being the real MVP and paying me for it. So,
And we love that. We love friends who are
she
supportive.
was like, instead of being like, oh, can you help me? She was like, can you help me and I'll pay you?
Me, if I ever have the means, I'm just like, I'm going to hire all of my friends.
Because I used to do that, helping her with her English homework for university, and she would like invite me to lunch or buy me stuff or something like that. But right now she's like, I know you need to get paid, so I'm paying you. I'm actually paying you money.
And I'm glad you're helping her be brilliant. And yes, Thorn. Hell yes, friends helping friends with money.
Yes, I am here for it. Listen, as soon as I have money, I am eating money everyone's direction.
Right. Just like you're all getting health care and switches for everybody.
Healthcare and switches. Yeah.
Because you need healthcare and also fun.
Yeah. I need a whole bunch of stuff.
Huge
I
move.
am working on getting some of that. I am working on getting some of that stuff now though. Like I am now in a new cell phone company, meaning I can probably get a new phone, and it's going to be either cheap or free, it's probably not going to be like a fancy phone that I really want or whatever. But so long as it's useful, I am not going to to complain.
Yeah, I'm like, as long as it has like decent storage and is useful and you can put your apps on it and stuff, like
Yeah.
that's what I an updated phone, and I hope something that has better battery life.
Yeah, or that charges faster because this one takes 84 years to charge now. Oh wow. Mommy Mommy is out here with the grandpa's nieces.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
I
Mommy is
mean,
having a grandpa's niece.
I just heard like a muffled sound. I didn't like you couldn't really distinguish it, but that's funny.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't heard sheep cough.
Oh,
He coughs like a grandpa.
poor guy. I mean, he technically is a grandpa, so I guess
I
he's
mean,
technically a grandpa. He's an old man, but
he is 14 years old. So
oh, such a good boy. Oh, and then Kat said, Feffy, the world needs to know your brilliance, and I agree. And also asked,
oh,
how quickly are you looking to get a newer phone? Mommy is the new rooster.
Mommy is the new rooster.
Fucking Ruthie, I'm dying.
Listen, I am extremely annoyed that there was no proper setup for me to do podcast comfortably in Los Andes because there was a rooster that could have given most rooster a run for its money. When I tell you, sometimes I would get up in the morning and think the rooster was a dude screaming instead of a rooster, and then I really paid attention. And I was like,
Oh my god.
oh wait, it's not a dude screaming, it's a rooster.
It's not a guy yelling, being murdered. That's okay. That's
Yeah,
a bird.
yeah, it's a crime isn't happening. It's just a rooster telling us all good morning that we need to get up.
Or just saying hi whenever they feel like.
Yeah, yeah, I am taking steps to get the new phone. I need to. The thing is, I need to go downtown at a reasonable hour that is not too peoply to go to the cell phone company, and because I had issues when I inserted my new SIM card from their company, it didn't read it. My phone didn't read it correctly for like a day, and I couldn't do anything with my. I couldn't call people. Mommy's phone is still not operative, by the way. So we're probably going to have to go to the cell phone company pretty soon. And like we checked, and the issue is not her phone. The issue is something from the company. So she's very
Oh
annoyed,
no.
and she's ready. She's ready to speak to a manager. You don't want mommy being a Karen. If mommy goes into Karen mode, you lose.
She's like, I've been to a Chilean detention center. You have nothing on me.
she's like she's like you're not worse than the cops. Like I have endured some shit. You
Yeah, I
can tell.
wouldn't want to face her in a Karen off. Like, let's just be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, same with my aunt, by the way. She Tia Rosa, you don't want to mess with Tia Rosa.
She is an she is a witch, so you definitely don't want to mess with her.
Yeah, so yeah. Tia Rosa sued the municipality where she worked because she had an accident when she was working and she won. So
We
And she
love.
was very, and everyone was like, but don't do it, you're going to lose, blah 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 blah, like you're poor, people never listen to poor. But she kept insisting, she kept going, and she won. And she won a fair amount of money that she put into back into her business. So
That's awesome.
because like they didn't want to listen to it. She works on the street market selling fruits and vegetables with my uncle. So her accident was basically on the street, and they were like, "Well, but you were on the street. Like it's not like a proper like it was your basically it was your fault." And then they realized that that part of the street had um, like an obstacle there that was making it really hard for people to walk there without tripping. So
And welcome, Slicky Fangs. That's a
ah,
fun username, by the way.
yeah. Anyway, we went into the derailed train once again. We are the travel.
We made it to the end though. I've been sitting here with my DSLR on for no reason. The battery hasn't gone down by a single bar yet. That's impressive. I need to take pictures today. Accountability time right now for Eeyore. Someone, you force me to take pictures today.
Yeah, you need to take pictures. We're going to tell me at what time do you need to have this done?
I just need to do it at some point today. It doesn't
Then
matter.
I will be notes. I will be notes. Don't
This
worry.
camera was the real MVP. Why did I have to sell her? LOL. Thor and Eeyore take the picture. Thank you, Thor.
I
I've
am
been
glad
bragging about
that
my friends, by the
like
way. And how
at
amazing you are.
least I'm glad that your friend gave it back to you for a while, so you have a camera that doesn't want to set itself on fire, because that was a thing.
I just also would like to let you know there are some kitty opinions.
Kitty opinions. Let me.
What?
Oh my god. We have
Here, let me show you my butt.
cat butt.
Cat butt.
We have kitty opinions. Tiny.
She's
Very
on
tiny kitty opinions.
now.
She's so small.
She's so tiny.
She's so cute. Oh my god.
Say we're both on gabapentin now, and she's feeling good. She was chasing her tail during a stream the other day,
Aww.
and she's eating her wet food.
Cat butt.
Cat butt.
Welcome to the cat butt stream.
Her cute face, because it's so cute. She just likes to. We put this little mat here for her.
She's looking at.
And now she has a little stool as well because she's getting older.
She's staring at the window. Who are you waiting for to come back from the war?
She is watching cat TV because now are we flopping? Okay, here.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're flopping. And there's a Sarong bag in the background, which is an international grocery.
Oh, how cute is she? Oh my god.
Now we're playing with my. Oh yeah, now you want to play with my hoodie string?
Oh. Oh yeah.
I can't wait to show you Morgan's new kitten.
That bad.
Frank Lloyd Bite. And for anyone who doesn't know, his name is a pun of Frank Lloyd Wright, who is an American architect.
Yeah. Yeah, she has like a similar.
Yeah, she is. Ow,
Yeah.
that's my hand.
She's also tiny and has very loud kitty opinions, which we love.
But Lily has a ginger butt. I love it.
I love it. That's so cute.
The internet.
Yeah, the internet was basically made for kitties. Yeah.
She's just purring and
I
having fun.
mean, we love a cat. We love a cat. These are like so. Yeah, this is now the Luna show. She's she's the true protagonist
Are you?
here.
Are you the protagonist?
She's the ultimate good girl. She doesn't have to forgive crappy people because she has claws, so she can be like
You just skibbity baps.
she can give the mean people the skibidi paps.
Yeah. Look at your toe beans. Look at those beans. Catterbait is a real thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and Xander's working.
Oh, Sander's like, what about me?
He's outside working at the neighbors as he does.
Yeah, I can hear him.
And Ginger's also right outside the window, and she's like, "What is this?"
I was going to mention before this that because we're talking about mommy sneezing very loudly.
Oh, and
Sometimes,
you see Elle, and the Elle is also here. The
hi,
poodle.
Elle. And it's like sometimes sheep will sneeze, but it comes out as a tiny bark and then a sneeze.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
And it's so cute and so funny. And I wish I could capture that on video, but he never does it when
Oh,
I have the phone on me.
oh yes. Are you done playing now? Okay. She's such a goof.
I'm going to make this like an equal, so everyone can see both me and the kitty. So I don't know what else I was going to tell. What else I was going to tell you? Chewy! Oh my god, I love Chewy so much. Like how is Chewy so perfect? I don't understand. I honestly don't understand. Also, of course, he's
Xander's
being
being extra quirky. I gotta go call him in. Sorry.
Chewy. Chewy is naughty, but he's so cute. So every time he does,
Cute.
every time he does kitty crimes, he commits the perfect crime because he's adorable. Also, he has little glove paws, so he wears little gloves to commit the perfect crime,
He really
and we
does.
love that. He
Ah, Chewy. Stop being so perfect.
everyone everyone loves Chewy. Like if you don't completely lose it the moment you see a picture of Chewy, are you even human?
Listen, I told you, my little sister is an official stan of the Chewy Club. She has a membership. She loves Chewy.
The Chewy fan club is very is very extensive. We all love him.
Because she was not having a great day, so I sent her the cat and hat pictures.
Oh my god,
And like
yes.
the progression, and where it was just like the wild eyes with his ears back and the head pitched back, to then when he like transitioned to like quiet acceptance and looked a little grumpy. Like,
Oh my god, yeah, that was
I sent
adorable.
her like the fancy pictures Thorn had taken of him, and
Yeah.
she was just like, "Oh my god!"
I mean, I dare everyone to look at those pictures and not have their heart completely melt because that is a heart melting cat.
he's so perfect. And then there's the orb Lily, and she's just a literal perfect furry orb.
Yeah, a perfect round lily is a perfect orb. The fluffiest of orbs. We love her so much. With her one tooth, every time
Also, it's like
every time she yawns, I'm like, this is the best thing ever because she looks so fun and she looks so cute. Oh my god, like
Slinky Bangs said Luna also showed her butt. And then
yeah,
censored the last part. And
yeah.
yes, there's always, I'm like, cat butt, yes. Always some cat
Yeah,
butt.
we always have a cat butt content around here. That is a thing that happens.
Period.
There's, if there's a cat, the cat is showing their butt at some point. They are,
They are free and unashamed.
yeah, they don't know shame, and I think that's beautiful. So taking it back to the subject, I think the takeaway is we laugh about stuff that is like cheesy and oh my god, this is amazing and iconic because it's so badly written, blah blah blah. But sometimes even the cheesiest, most fun entertainment content can be pretty problematic, and you have to be careful when you watch it and make sure that other people who can fall for, say, misinformation about medical procedures actually get the information that they need and don't become some of us who read something in a book at some point or watch it in a show, in a show or any other piece of media and believe something that was fake even into our adulthood because that is very dangerous, especially
Yes.
if you make like important life altering decisions based on that gets very tricky. But and I haven't even touched on other issues that I have with telenovelas. For example, I mean, the misogyny is there. Also, the fact that they're very I already said they're very straight, they're very cis, they're very I don't like obviously not entirely white, but there's a lot of white in there, and usually like actors that get famous. For example, the ones that got famous in the 90s in Mexico, they were usually of European descent that wasn't Spanish. So that was very white. And it was like, oh, if you want to be, this is the standard of beauty. Like, if you want to be the most beautiful character in the show, is this blonde girl.
Right. And it's like even if you're saying like very often white, and like even when non-white, like very often plays into colorism.
And then to change it up towards the late 90s, early 2000s, they were like, oh no, now we are not racist because the good girl is a brunette and the sexy villain is blonde, and everyone was like,
Uh,
okay then, okay then. There's this actress that I remember who was like the sexy villain in the 90s, and she's a redhead, and I don't remember her name, but she was iconic, and she was probably one of the reasons I have been dyeing my hair red a whole bunch of times in my lifetime. And also
I love
she
this, and
played
as a fellow redhead, you're one of us.
yeah, and also she's played and she's more known for having played villains, but also she's played the protagonist in some shows, and also in other shows she has played this new character that was introduced in telenovelas that was like could be a villain but it's actually chaotic neutral. which is like I don't trust this character, but they're also not like bad. She was very good at playing that as well. But what I remember is like, oh my god, her hair is amazing. Her hair is amazing, and also when she plays the villain, she always looks like she's smelling something funky. And honestly, that's kind of
I love that.
But yeah, that's one problem. The fact that that these shows are pretty racist. Also, there's a lot of like pretty insensitive content. The disability representation, not great. That's, I think, on that particular subject, there's a whole rant because it goes it goes from not actually casting disabled actors as disabled people. It goes from that to only making like inspirational disabled person who at the end of the show becomes miraculously able-bodied, and that's their happy ending. And I'm like, that is very, I mean, that was a thing that would happen to the protagonist in many telenovelas. It was usually she had an accident and ended up in a wheelchair at some point, and then her great happy ending was that she could walk again.
And
Or
American TV is absolutely guilty of this too, heavily.
yeah,
Which is why I'm so frustrated.
or or protagonist becomes suddenly blind, and her happy ending is that she miraculously can see at some point, and I'm like, that's not how it happens. Actually, there's this telenovela that has been remade a gajillion times, that every time I catch a remake of it on TV, I immediately know that it's this show because they had done it so many times and they had done it the same way every time. And the protagonist is a blind girl, and her happy ending is that she gets like this convoluted surgery and she can see perfectly again. And I'm like, where's this surgeon? Because I would like a walk. I would like a talk.
I would like to speak to the head surgeon, please.
I would like working eyes, please, and thank you. It's very unrealistic, but it's like, oh, this is what you have to aspire to, and
it's a slap in the face for us who like have a disability and like have no power to change our conditions.
yeah, and it used to be something I didn't think about much, but as I grew up, it started to irk me more and more. The other thing that I actually hate is the situation is as follow. Character, usually a woman, is a bigot. She has some kind of bigoted view that she passed on to her child, usually also a girl. But randomly, her husband is a good person. even though he is staying married to this bigoted woman. And I'm like, if you're such a good person, why aren't you teaching your daughter to not be racist, though? If you're such a good person, why aren't you calling out your wife? If you're such a good person, why aren't you divorced from your wife, honestly? Because why are you staying married to this terrible person? And that happened on the show that I used to watch when I was little that was catered to children, actually. So when I say it's not just a show, I know it's entertainment, but it also can be dangerous. I mean it. I truly mean it.
Yeah, and I think it's a reflection of our society and culture.
Yeah, it was very, oh, if you love them, you have to love them, you have to love them unconditionally. And I'm like, they don't love people. They hate a whole bunch of people. Why do they deserve unconditional love? Sorry to be rude, but so yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I could talk about regarding telenovela issues, but
No,
I think it's going to be an episode for another day, because this other show that I'm thinking about deserves its own episode, because I can't believe I was watching that as a child and allowed to watch that as a child, because it was content for children and it was as wild as it was. I didn't even look it up. I didn't even look up the storyline on Wikipedia, because I knew that it was going to be like a gajillion pages long. Because wild, inappropriate garbage kept happening. And I was like, why? This is not fun. This is pretty freaking depressing. Oh my god, why is this character that everyone loves and admires being a terrible racist person? I if I could only tell you all the wild shit I have seen. Oh, 1 second, everyone. I'm going to check a thing.
Hey, you're good. I was just I'm making foods.
Yeah, I thought my Wi-Fi was Wi-Fiing for a second there. I saw unusual activity on on my laptop.
I was like, you seemed good to me.
Yeah. Then I rewatched the episode, and half of it is blurry because my Wi-Fi. I also have. I mean, I don't have a Scorn router and Squash modem here, but as opposed to when I was in Los Andes, when it would go out entirely every night at the same time. and I would be watching people stream.
Oh
I
no.
would, and I would miss a whole chunk of the stream because of that. I'm still salty because I missed Thorn playing Calico and getting stuck in the same dumpster that Lisa got stuck in.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. How did Lisa get stuck in here? Immediately get stuck in dumpster.
Apparently, all you have to do is get in the dumpster. Oh, that was really funny. Yay! Because seriously, I only read about it and it cracked me up. Also,
Yeah.
that time in which everyone was concerned that Lisa had gotten stuck in an actual dumpster.
That was amazing.
Listen, you needed to have that experience. You needed to have that experience.
I want to do it myself. I can't wait until I have money to buy more games.
Yeah, I mean you have to stream if you get it. You have to
Oh,
stream
oh, absolutely. I will
getting stuck on the
stream
dumpster on purpose. Like
all of the.
you have to be a graduate from Divas causing problems on purpose university and get stuck in the dumpster on purpose.
I love that for us.
Oh my god. So I what time is it? Like how long have we been live? Oh wow.
Oh, just a little over 2.
As always, I'm super chatty. I hope you'll have enjoyed this though, because I didn't consider notes because I thought sleep was more important. So I didn't write notes. So I am all over the place. And I was going to do like a general other shows that I have been complaining about update, but one of them also needs its own episode because these writers though, what do they smoke, honestly? Mommy sometimes changes the TV and and watches a bit of that, and I can't believe my eyes every time. Every time she's watching that. This is a real thing that is on my TV right now? Am I having a weird dream? Because this is weird. So I need to talk about that maybe another episode when I don't really have a subject and I can like do a bit of a mashup of a whole bunch of stuff, because there's this other one that is pretty similar as well, that's also wild, and I can't believe they are continuing with this with that particular storyline that annoys me so much. But we have been here for a long time, and I don't wanna keep anyone for longer than they want to be.
Part 2.
I hope you have enjoyed this though, and that my explanation wasn't super convoluted because I didn't have notes.
No, you were on point. This was great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I am always glad that you enjoy the things that I talk about, or even if you don't enjoy the actual thing that I'm talking about, you enjoy my explanation of it, because like I said, there's nothing, more annoying than you saying, oh, I am going to do this thing, I'm going to talk about this thing, and people being like, oh, I don't like this thing, and making a huge deal about not liking the thing. That is at best annoying, and at worst very rude and inconsiderate of the person who is sharing something with you that is meant for entertainment. Like, I would honestly, I would, you know me, I would listen to my friends talk about whatever they're interested in, because there's nothing more delightful and wonderful than seeing people get super hype about something they love.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, it when I tell you that breaks my inattentiveness. Like, if you talk to me about something you care about, I'm actually paying attention. And I have ADHD. so that is a huge thing. And I have friends who have been like, "Oh wow, that's the greatest compliment that you've given me," when I have told them that. And I don't mean it just as an empty compliment. I genuinely mean that.
Yes.
So
It makes me happy, and like you said, it interests me, and it makes my people happy.
yeah. So this podcast is always a celebration of talking about stuff that interests us, and being there for other people when they want to talk about their interests,
Thorn with my eyes.
and just hyping people up. Like, this is Love Train in podcast form, and I hope you feel that, all of you who are watching. So, and that might have sounded a bit soapboxy, but I think it's a good soapbox to get on. Like,
I agree.
respect people's interests, even if you don't share them. Respecting people's interests, it's always a good thing. It's the kind thing to do and the polite thing to do. I have a friend who's always live tweeting stuff on Twitter, and I never know what the hell she's watching, but I'm always paying attention because because the way she talks about things is so entertaining.
I love that.
She's an excellent storyteller, and I love that. Anyway, I keep doing long goodbyes. So now I am going to say bye to everyone for real.
Yes.
I hope you have enjoyed this, and I hope you join me next week.
Oh, and
for
before
one.
you end it, we should raid Thorn because Thorn is live.
Oh, Thor's live. So I am going to go on the Twitch.
I would do it for you, but I unfortunately can't.
I'm muted so you don't hear noise.
I'm like, sorry, my microwave is beeping at me. Honestly, I like the computer clickies. My computer also does the clickies.
I was talking about my voice, honestly.
Oh my gosh, stop.
I was talking about echo because you were going to hear me repeating the same thing several times. Also, I'm so pumped that Thorn's live, because their streams are my favorite.
I love on Mondays that it's Mo, you, and Thorn. That's the schedule.
Accidental beauty crawl.
Yes, 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 yes. We love it.
Yay! It worked.
It's happening.
It's happening. It's all happening.
Okay, so
Bye, friends. I'm waving
we are
again.
going
Me.
start right now. And bye, everyone.